4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And what I want to do now is talk about the edge rushers slash outside linebacker situation the Giants have heading into the draft. Now, some of the sites you look at, the Giant, some of the guys are like listed as like defensive linemen. Other sites you look at, some of the guys are listed as like outside linebackers and all. So, a couple of these guys, Kwity Paye, I think last night when I was talking about the defensive line, he was on there, and he's also, could be put as like an outside linebacker. You got Nico Lalos, who from Dartmouth, he can be either like a defensive end or slash possibly like an outside linebacker. So some of the sites you have some of these guys like an outside linebacker, others you got them on a defensive, on a defensive line. But we got 8 outside linebackers slash defensive ends signed. A lot of young. There's only 2 guys. Ryan Anderson is 26. And Kwity Paye is 28. Everybody else is 25 or younger. So we got a lot of young guys on the team. The problem is that last year we had 18. We got 18 guys on the roster last year had at least half a sack on the Giants. The problem is that only 3 of them were on the edge rushers. All right, Carter Coughlin got 1, Lorenzo Carter got 1, and Trent Harris got half a sack. Other than that, we got sacks from everybody, everywhere else. From the defensive line, from Blake Martinez, the inside linebackers, from the cornerbacks, cornerback blitzes, from the safety blitzes. We got sacks from everywhere. Except, we got them from the edge, from the outside, but 2.5, not good. Now, there's a possibility, we might be just, where Judge came from, New England, What do they do a lot? Do they have a 20-sack guy? Nope. A 15-sack guy? Nope. Not saying they light the world on fire as far as with sacks, but they play their defense. They have a good secondary. When the team goes back to pass, they have good coverage, and either throw an incomplete pass, maybe he gets picked off. If the guy's standing back a lot, maybe he might get sacked. It might wind up being something like that. Giants are following along those lines quite a bit, meaning, we have a heck of a good secondary. Our coverage should be pretty decent this year. And therefore, it might wind up being, it might be same old, might be the sack by committee kind of thing. You got your 3 guys up front that you got your wall up front. You got Dexter Lawrence and Leo Lyon, and whoever the third guy is going to be. And then you got 8 other guys. Who Patrick Graham's going to send at any one time, who knows? Now, some of it's also got to do with, like, if you send some guys in that are, like, just, as an edge rusher, some guys are just specifically going to go in there when it's a passing down and they're going to rush the quarterback. And some of them are just, especially quarterback, rushing the quarterback, but they're not maybe going to drop in coverage. So you're going to have times where you're going to have, but maybe you might have an edge rusher coming in. One time you might have a safety blitz. Pepper's come in the box and have him blitz. You might have Bradberry come. Guys be coming from all over. You might have to just be, sacks by committee. Now, we had 40 sacks last year. It's not bad, which is 12th. That's not too bad. the amount of the quarterback knockdowns that we had, we were tied for 7th. We had 64 of them, so that's pretty good. And then we had 107. We had quarterback hits, 107, which was tied for 7th, which is pretty good. We were tied for 12th with quarterback hurries with 61. That's not bad. So all these stats, the knockdowns, the hits, the hurries, the sacks, were top 12 or better. Not too bad. We may not ever get, last year, whatever it was, with Ngakoue. I want $20 million a year. A lot of Giants were trying to sign him, which is, understandable. But we may not ever get that guy. One of the problems with having a guy like that, just one guy like that, say he gets hurt. Now you got $15-20 million on the sideline drinking Gatorade because he's hurt, he's not in the game, and there goes a lot of your pass rush. So what Patrick Graham is trying to do is create confusion, create pressure from all over the place. So we might just happen to have the, as I said, the sacks by committee, the pressure by committee. We got, a bunch of guys there that are edge rushers from later rounds. Carter, Lorenzo Carter's 3rd round. We got the X-Man, he was 4th round. Carter Coughlin, what was he, 6th, 7th round? I mean, we got some guys, creating some, some pressure, but later on in the draft. And that just might be the way it is. I mean, to quote Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. And you don't have to have an edge rusher that gets 15 sacks. You don't have to. You play to win the game. And that's what Patrick Graham does. He takes what he has and he makes the most of it. And he moves the guys around like chess pieces and blitzes this guy here, this guy there. They line up on a line of scrimmage and you have no idea who's coming. And that might be the way we might have to be. We certainly could obviously use some help in the draft. Now, there's a very decent draft. There's no Chase Young. There's no, oh my God, this guy is a top 5 pick. Oh, no. There's some guys like Jaelan Phillips, Kwity Paye, Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. Some of the guys, it might be top 10, top 15, top 20, but there's no Chase Young. So if you miss out on some of those guys, 2nd round, 3rd round, there might be some other guys that you could take. It's just going to be what the Giants, at this particular point in time, what they value most. Do they think that, getting Azeez Ojulari at number 11 is more beneficial to them than getting, an offensive lineman, or if Waddle or Smith is there? It's all up to what they value. And it's going to be hard to tell until they call the Giants' name on April 29th. I think they have more pressing needs. They did fine last year, getting 40 sacks with a bunch of guys on the edge. You're kind of scratching, who the hell is that guy? They did decent, and I think they can do decent once again, possibly in the 3rd or possibly the 4th round, picking up somebody, or maybe the 2nd round. Who knows? But I think what they have right now is in the 11th pick. I'm not seeing a good enough value there at pick number 11 for them to take Kwity Paye or Jaelan Phillips or somebody like that. I think they can do a little bit better with their pick number 11. But now the problem is that with some of those guys, by the time the Giants pick at 42, a lot of those guys are going to be gone. Jaelan Phillips going to be gone. Kwity Paye, he's going to be gone. Joseph Asai from Texas, he's good. He's going to be gone. All right. Then you got Zaven Collins from Tulsa. He's probably going to be a 1st rounder as well. Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. He's probably going to be gone. Gregory Rousseau. I don't know. I don't know who. I'm interested to see who's going to roll the dice on him, but I wouldn't take him. I think he's too much of a project. I think you can get better results quicker than unless they see something in him. But I mean, this is a lot of guys. By the time 42 rolls around, will probably be gone. All right, but it doesn't mean that they can't get a quality, decent, edge rusher in the third or fourth round. An edge rusher in the third round, the Giants pick, I think number 76. I think it's like about $900,000 or $1 million it would cost them. Very affordable edge rusher. They can just put him in there, just like with the other guys. Now, a lot of guys, some of these guys, they have a lot of them only signed for just up to this year. But I think it's Lorenzo Carter's last year as well, too. So they're going to want to see if they want to re-sign him. Can he stay healthy? The X-Men. He didn't get a sack last year. They only played a few games, but he didn't get any sacks last year either. Carter did get the one, although he was hurt as well, too. Sorry, guys, my dog's trying to get in here. But, so, I mean, there are some guys out there that there's quality in the third and the fourth round that the Giants might wind up going after, which they can add to the stable of edge rushers that they have, that could possibly do the job. Now, Jason Oweh from Penn State, possibly a second rounder. Then there's Carlos Barsham, I believe it is, from Wake Forest. He's possibly a second rounder. So there are other guys. There's two guys from Pittsburgh as well. There's Weaver and then there's Jones. Those guys in the third round, possibly a fourth round. Quality there. So just because the Giants don't wind up grabbing a edge rusher with pick number 11 doesn't mean they can't get quality later on. Now, I do think that somewhere along the line that, yes, they're going to address this. Now, whether it's going to be the first, second, third, or fourth round, I would certainly, obviously, look for them to select an edge rusher. Absolutely. Exactly where it's going to be, that's hard to say. But there is quality. It's the same thing with the wide receivers. If we don't grab Waddle or Smith in the first round, it's not the end of the world. There's quality throughout the draft. I wouldn't wait till, obviously, we have 2 picks in the 6th round. I wouldn't wait till the 6th round, obviously, to grab a wide receiver, unless you're doubling up on one. I wouldn't wait till the 6th round to grab an edge rusher, unless you're doubling up on one. But within the first 4 picks, I think the Giants definitely, without a doubt, need to take an edge rusher. I think number 11, no. I think that they'll go a different avenue. But pick number 42, number 76, and I think they got pick number 116. One of those 3, I would look for them to take an edge rusher. Would be a quality edge rusher, add to the stable, and it's just, it would just sacks by committee. Last year they got 40. They got Anderson, who's not the greatest, pass rusher in the world. I believe 1 year he had 4 sacks, I believe, from Washington in 2019. Last year he didn't get any at all. But Odin Nigbo, he had 7 a couple years back. So, and he wasn't even a starter. They would just put him in the games, I guess, on passing situations, and he had 7 sacks. So, can he come in and maybe rekindle a little bit of that lightning, huh? 7 sacks would be, for our defense, especially from the edge, would be huge. Now, of course, we had Marcus Golston, who had 10 sacks, a couple years back. But, other than that, boy, our edge rushers, sacks from our edge rushers are few and far between. So we could certainly use some help as an edge rusher. They said in the 2nd round, 3rd, or 4th, that's where I would look for the Giants to get an edge rusher, to get some quality depth to add to the stable of edge rushers, and certainly help the defense. As I said, we got 18 guys last year get at least half a sack. So That's it. You don't have to have a 10 or 15, 20 sack guy to win a football game. You don't. You play to win the game. Well, guys, tomorrow I'm going to go over the inside linebackers, and I'll continue my look at the Giants' defense. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo!